Hello everyone, welcome back to Into Sports. I'm your host Evan. Today I'm talking Curry and the MVP, but before I do, please click that subscribe button. 94% of you are not subscribed, so do me a favor and click subscribe. But anyways, Nikola Jokic won the MVP in a landslide, receiving 91 out of 100 first place votes, with Joel Embiid second and Steph Curry third. But even though some have had the audacity to call me a Steph Curry hater, Steph Curry is my MVP. Ugh, but the Warriors didn't make the playoffs. Excuse me? It's not most valuable team, it's MVP, most valuable player. So what defines a player's value? How much they elevate their team. So what would the Warriors be like without Steph Curry? How much of a difference would he make individually? Well, we don't have to theorize. We don't have to speculate, because in a game without Steph Curry this season, the Warriors face a Raptors team that had gone 1-13 in their previous 14 games. And the Raptors didn't have their second best player. And the Warriors were at one point losing this game by 61 points. Now that's just one game without Steph Curry. But in the 9 he missed this year, the Warriors were 2-7. But last year, when Steph only played 5 games on the season, the team went 15-50. Yes, you heard that right. 15 wins and 50 losses, 5-0. They had the worst record in basketball. So the Warriors went from winning 23% of their games without Steph Curry to 54% of their games with Steph Curry. Seems pretty valuable to me. Whoa. But Jokic carried his team to the 3rd seed even though they had major injuries. Well, despite major injuries, he still had Michael Porter Jr., aka Kevin Durant Jr., 6'10", 7-foot wingspan, shooting 45% from 3. Yeah, a young superstar. He had him for the whole year. Porter will give you 20 a game. He also had Jamal Murray for half the year, who was casually dropping 50-point games in the bubble. Aaron Gordon, who they traded for half the year, who's an explosive athlete and a great defender. Steph Curry's second best player was 7-point a game Draymond Green. Or Andrew Wiggins, who got traded alongside a high first-round pick for Mr. Weed in a bottle on a plane, D'Angelo Russell. Clearly, Wiggins doesn't have much value. So Jokic's team got the 3rd seed, and Curry's team didn't make the playoffs. But if you give Steph, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon for half the year, alongside a young star, Michael Porter Jr., and Curry would have been at the top of the West as well. And that's what's so impressive about Curry's year. Curry was the definition of a one-man band, but not a one-man band that chucked up a bunch of bad shots and put up empty stats, but a one-man band that carried the team by himself and did so with ridiculous efficiency. He averaged 32 a game on near 50-40-90 shooting, while constantly being double and triple teamed. That's unheard of. He led the league in scoring while being trapped on every high pick and roll. They not only doubled him, they not only tripled him, but they quadruple teamed him at times, and he was still crazy efficient. In fact, if he wasn't getting tripled everywhere he went, because, his teammates were a little better, then maybe he could have invented a new club, the 60-50-90 club. That's how great of a shooter and scorer he is. Okay. Curry's a better scorer. But Jokic is a great passing big. He makes his teammates better through his passing. Okay, first of all, Steph will give you 6 assists per game. And if his teammates could actually capitalize, he'd average more. But Curry elevates his teammates in a unique way. Steph is the most dangerous player in basketball. He's the Tyreek Hill of the NBA. Tyreek Hill is so dangerous because he can fly by you at any time. You always need safety help. So because of that, he opens up the rest of the offense. Steph Curry is the best shooter in the NBA, and he's the best off-ball player in the sport. So you leave him for a split second, even if he doesn't have the ball, and he's knocking down a three with his quick release. And that's what makes defenses paranoid and opens up the rest of the offense. He is the biggest threat in basketball at all times, with the ball or without the ball. Defenses don't have to put their best defender on Jokic 48 feet away from the basket, but they do with Curry, because the threat of Curry at all times elevates the rest of the Warriors players. Now, unfortunately, it didn't matter at times because they couldn't even make wide open layups with the game on the line, but that's just further evidence that Curry was the life jacket that kept this team afloat, because the rest of the team didn't know how to swim. Jokic's teammates, they know how to swim. They probably would have been a playoff team even without him. But Curry's team would have been watching Cade Cunningham highlights because they would have had the first pick in the draft if Steph Curry wasn't there. Yet he brought them to multiple games above 500. Now, a common knock on Curry, and I echo this, is that he doesn't defend. And that's very true. But Jokic isn't a plus defender either. And if Embiid didn't miss 30% of the year, then that would be a major issue for Curry's MVP case, because Embiid is a great defender. Jokic, not a great defender. So Curry's biggest flaw is essentially canceled out. Now, if you want to say Jokic is the MVP because he played 9 more games than Curry, I can't argue that. That's fine. For me, Curry missing 9 games is what makes this race neck and neck. But I'll take Steph because he carried a bad team to a good season while being stupidly efficient. And he was the entire offensive attack because he had to be. His teammates couldn't get it done. And I don't care that they didn't make the playoffs, because you put Jokic in Golden State, they ain't making the playoffs either. But let's just sit back and think about what the voters were saying by voting Jokic first. Many people call Steph Curry the greatest point guard of all time, and he just had one of his better years. But you give the MVP award to Nikola Jokic, who is barely even a top 10 player in the game right now. No thanks. I'll give it to an all-time great player instead, in Steph Curry.